Serve one another. Today's one another comes directly from Jesus as he is washing his disciples' feet before his crucifixion. The first lesson that Jesus teaches about serving is that serving others means trusting Jesus even when you don't understand what he is doing. Notice v.7. Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing." Jesus was saying, what I am doing now and what you are going through, you don't understand. That was true for his disciples, and it is probably true in your life, too. You are probably facing some issues in your marriage, family, home, job, finances, or health that you can't figure out. Truth be known, we just don't understand all that God is doing. Notice that Jesus didn't stop there. You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. The big question is, how much later? We don't know. There are some issues in our lives that begin to make more sense after a few days, a few weeks, or a few years, but some won't click until eternity. What are you going through in your life that you don't understand? What are you asking why about? Rest. Jesus is in the middle of it. You may not see him or realize what he is doing, but he's there. In order to serve others, you must be able to rest in the confidence that Jesus knows what he's doing, even when you don't. Notice that servanthood involves intentionally, personal involvement, and sacrifice. Notice what Jesus said in VV.14-15. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Notice he did not say, I gave you an example that you should study about it, or talk about it, or memorize these words and repeat them often. Jesus was clear. He was looking for action. I gave you an example that you should do as I did to you. A great way to serve others is as a Groundwire coach. Groundwire coaches meet people seeking Jesus online and share with them the gospel so that they can know Jesus. You can learn more here. https://www.groundwire.net/coaching.
Before the Passover celebration, Jesus knew that his hour had come to leave this world and return to his Father. He had loved his disciples during his ministry on earth, and now he loved them to the very end. It was time for supper, and the devil had already prompted Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything, and that he had come from God and would return to God. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. When Jesus came to Simon Peter, Peter said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You don't understand now what I am doing, but someday you will." "No," Peter protested. "You will never ever wash my feet." Jesus replied, "Unless I wash you, you won't belong to me." Simon Peter exclaimed, "Then wash my hands and head as well, Lord, not just my feet." Jesus replied, "A person who has bathed all over does not need to wash, except for the feet to be entirely clean. And you disciples are clean, but not all of you." For Jesus knew who would betray him. That is what he meant when he said, "Not all of you are clean." After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, "Do you understand what I was doing? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, because that's what I am. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. I tell you the truth. Slaves are not greater than their master, nor is the messenger more important than the one who sends the message. Now that you know these things, God will bless you for doing them.